Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In these verses of Al Baqarah, we will be continuing the discussion regarding the rulings of Ramadan and some of the things about Islamic warfare. It starts with the verse 186, which is a beautiful verse in which Allah talks about how near He is to us and He is sufficient for us and He hears us and He's there for us. So the verse 186 means, when my servants ask you, O Prophet, about me, I am truly near and very near to them. I respond to one's prayer when they call upon me. Whenever they call upon me, whenever you say Allah, He responds. You ask something, He responds. It's never that you call upon Him and He doesn't respond. Call upon me. So let them respond with obedience to me. Let them also respond to me with obedience and believe in me and believe that I love them. I will do everything which is good for them. Nothing, no hardship is coming in their way which is not good for them. And believe in me. Perhaps they will be guided to the right path. So Allah is telling, I'm very near to them. And whenever they call upon me, I'm there for them. They have to believe in me that I love them. I will never do something which is bad for them and cause hardship to them. That is not good for them in the long run. So that is what Allah is assuring for us here. In the verse 187, it's a big verse which talks about intimacy during the nights of Ramadan. So what happened when the Ramadan fast was made obligatory on the Sahaba? In the earlier days, it was a 24-hour fast, like from morning to morning, it was like that. So what happened is they did not only some time they got before the next morning, before the starting of the next fast to eat or do whatever. So what happened is it was very difficult for them, for everybody. That is understandable. So what happened? Some of the people couldn't resist to be intimate with their wives and eat or drink during the nights. So this is like a revelation which explains about that. You can say in the verse 187 it says, "It has been made permissible for you, allowed for you, to be intimate with your wives during the nights preceding the fast." After the fast, in the nights, it's permissible to be intimate with your spouses. Your spouses are a garment. Allah explains here, puts a very sweet thing here, that your spouses are a garment. See, a garment is something which hides our flaws. It gives us a kind of like happiness when we wear it. We become like a bit, it's something which hides the flaws of us from the entire world and everything. In the same way, a spouse has to be somebody who doesn't complain or puts out this the flaws of the other partner in front of the world. They have to hide it, protect it, and also somebody who gives us warmth and protection. That is the metaphor used. Your spouses are a garment for you as you are for them. God knows that you, then now Allah is talking about, God knows that you were deceiving yourselves. That means He knows that you, in spite of the fast, you were eating and becoming intimate with your spouses at night. So, deceiving yourself. So, He has accepted your repentance and pardoned you. And He's telling you that I have pardoned because I knew it is difficult. Allah will never give that much hardship, that much as we can't bear. Your pardon. So now you may be intimate with them and seek what God has prescribed for you. That is pleasure or offspring or anything. You may eat and drink until you see the light of dawn breaking the darkness of night. You can from the time darkness comes to the time light breaks through the night, you can eat and drink, is what Allah is telling. Darkness of night. Then complete the fast until nightfall. Then again be in fasting until nightfall. Do not be intimate with it. This is what about fasting. Uh, do not be intimate with your spouses while you are meditating in the mosques. This is a context you have to understand. We have a concept called ittikaf, in which the men go to the masjid for a appointed term. They have the niyyah of 3 days, 1 day, 10 days. During that time, they can't come back and be intimate with their wives. So do not be intimate with your wives, spouses, while you are meditating in the mosques during ittikaf. These are the limits set by God. So do not exceed them. These are the limits that God has set. Do not exceed them. This is how God makes his revelations clear to people so they may become mindful of him. Is Allah is telling everything is clear, that what you have to do, you can't do. So uh, be mindful of him. Be among the muttaqeen is what Allah is telling. Then in the verse 188, it's an off track and talks about bribery and everything, which is a sin. Warning against injustice it is. Do not consume one another's wealth unjustly, or not deliberately bribe authorities in order to devour a portion of others. Devour a portion of others' wealth. Don't bribe the authorities, others' property, knowing that it is a sin. So bribery is a sin, is mentioned in the Quran, and you should not take anybody's wealth in an unjust manner, or take bribe anybody for your own good to take others' properties. What Allah is telling. Then in the verse 189, it discusses about one of the tradition of Arabian culture, and talks that it is not true righteousness. It is nothing good in that. In 189 it says, in the verse 189 it explains, they ask you, O Prophet, about the phases of the moon. Say they are a means for people to determine the time and pilgrimage. Phases of the moon, the crescent moon. We understand looking at the moon which time of the month it is, and in the pilgrimage also what time it is. You can understand by that, for that to understand. Righteousness is not in entering your houses from the back doors. Rather, righteousness is to be mindful of God, to bear taqwa. Mindful of God is taqwa. So enter your homes through their proper doors, that is the front doors, and be mindful of God so you may be successful. So back doors and front doors, that was a tradition which I'll tell it now. Before Islam, there was a superstitious practice for the pilgrims, whoever went to pilgrims, to enter their homes through the back door upon returning from a pilgrimage. Whenever they come back from a pilgrimage, they would enter from the back door. From the back. Okay. The verse suggests that being devoted to God wholeheartedly is more important than these blind beliefs and everything. It was just a superstition, and they used to come from the back door, not from the front door. Allah is telling this is nothing. These are all superstitions. The actual righteous people are those who have taqwa in their heart. So you might be successful. So Allah is telling, enter through the front doors. It's nothing. That is all superstitions and everything. Now, from the verse 190 to 195, it talks about etiquettes of war, fighting against combats and everything. So let us understand the verse 190. Fight in the cause of God only against those who wage war against you. But do not exceed the limits. God does not like transgressors. Every part is important. When a warfare comes, you can't kill somebody for your personal gain or personal pride or personal justice or personal enmity. When you're fighting for the sake of God, only fight for the sake of God. And fight with those who are waging war against you. You should not be among those who start the war. If the war is started from the enemies, you have to fight for them. There is no other choice. Only fight with those who are waging war against you, and do not exceed the limits. There are many limits which are there in the Islamic warfare, which I'll read to you. In an authenticated hadith collected by Abu Dawud, he is reported that to have instructed the military army about depart in the name of God. What are the limitations and limits? Depart in the name of God with his help. Follow the way of the messenger of God. Do not kill an old man, a child, or a woman. Do not mutilate dead bodies. After the war, you're not supposed to mutilate dead bodies of the enemy. Be gracious and courteous, for God loves those who act with grace. The Prophet also says, do not wish to meet courteous, do not meet your enemy in the battle, but always pray for their well-being. Do not pray that I will kill them badly, this, that. Do not pray for them to be, pray for their well-being. Pray that the war does not happen. Pray that something occurs, that they will put a cease and the war doesn't happen. In fighting is If fighting is a must, then be steadfast. If you don't have any other choice, if fighting is a must, then be steadfast. Don't be among those who show their back. And also there are other guidelines, like not mutilating the dead. Theft of the goods is not allowed. Theft, I mean, not after the war, during the war. Killing women, children, old people is not allowed. During warfare, killing priests, residents of the houses of worship, burning down trees, killing animals without benefit, these are all not allowed during Islamic warfare. These are the limits set by the Lord. So Allah is telling, follow the limits and do not be among the transgressors who just become animal like and kill people and everything. Then in this verse 191 is one of the biggest misunderstood verse of the Quran, you could say. It is translated and misunderstood in a, like, whoever wants to go anti-Islam, they use this verse. See how like bad the religion is and everything. But we have to understand the context of this verse. This verse was revealed after going to the Medina, when people the Muslims, the Mu'mineen, did a hijrah. They did a hijrah from Mecca to Medina because they were put out of their own motherland. What happened is, after going to Medina, they made pacts with the Medinan people, and after winning Mecca, now again there were people who did not want to accept Islam, and they still wanted to harm the Muslims and everything. So what happened? Now Allah never told in the Quran. Always, whenever hardship came, when they were in Mecca and when they were migrating and everything, He said, endure, patience, do this, don't. Passive retaliation was told, and so many things. One time came, and people, as human Sahaba also, left everything, their families, their lands. They have had so much anger in them. They wanted to kill and everything, but they did not, because Allah was commanding them to be patient and everything. And He told, one day I'll give you the chance to take revenge. So this is the ayah which, after Fateh Makkah, when Makkah was born and it was under the Muslims, now this ayah came, ki now you can kill them, you can do whatever you want. This ayah doesn't mean that be ruthless and kill the enemies and everything. It just means that that this ayah is just like, it gave the permission to fight, you can say. So the verse 191 says, kill them wherever you come upon them. In Medina now, wherever you come upon them, kill them. And drive them out of the places from which they have driven you out. So drive them out of Mecca now. Because Allah wanted Mecca to be a place where only people of faith would exist. Drive them as they drove you out. For persecution. Persecution is fitna. Shirk, fitna. You can say associating other gods with the God. Fitna, or any kind of bad thing. For persecution is far worse than killing. Spreading persecution in the land, fitna in the land is far worse than killing. And do not fight them at the sacred mosque. In the Kaaba, you can't fight them unless they attack you there, unless for self defense. If they do so, then fight them. That is the reward. That is the reward of the disbelievers. Now, if Allah says, do not fight them in the sacred mosque, the disbelievers can come and attack the Muslims in the sacred mosque only. They can use it against them. So, Allah is telling you can't initiate a fight there. Only you can do self defense there. And if they are attacking you, they're starting an attack, you have to fight. You can't do anything. In the verse 192, it says, but if you cease, if they cease, but they are the people who put ceasefire, then surely God is all forgiving, all merciful. You should not continue the fight. If they are starting for peace, be among the forgiving people and stop the war. Then resisting oppression and everything is explained in the verse 193. In the verse 193 again about warfare, fight against them if they persecute you until there is no persecution, and your devotion will be to God alone. If they stop persecuting you, let there be no hostility except against the aggressors. So Allah is telling you, fight them till they fight. Don't show your back and run away from the battlefield. But no more persecution is left, no more fitna is left in this land of Mecca. Fight them, and for the devotion will be alone till the time that all Mecca is only filled with the mu'mineen. Fight against the non-believers. Let there be no hostility except against the aggressors, and don't have any hostility in your heart against the except against the aggressors or the people or the zalim people. In the verse 194, it again says, there will be retaliation in a sacred month for an offense in a sacred month. There will be retaliation, that is again, as I told you, badla in a sacred month. Sacred month for an offense in the sacred month. The sacred months, actually, the Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. 1, 7, 11, 12 are the sacred months of the Islamic calendar. If something is happening there, the retaliation badla will be done in the sacred month for an offense in the sacred month. If any crime is done in that month, you will get the badla or retaliation will be done in that month only. So if anyone attacks you, retaliate in the same manner. If anyone is attacking you, retaliate in the same manner. But be mindful of God and know that God is with those mindful of Him. Again, Allah is reminding about the limitations, don't exceed the limits. In the verse 195 it says about spending in the name of God. So understand this, Islam is not a religion which promotes war or promotes killing or anything like that. It promotes peace. But it doesn't like cowardice. It doesn't like people who are very coward at their heart. It says, when your enemy wants war, fight. Don't show your backs and run away from the battlefield. Fight till there is like the ultimate triumph of Islam. If you're getting a chance to fight, fight in any way possible. Not necessarily sword and everything. All kinds of things like spreading the word of Islam, fighting for the right things. Like example, the Gaza thing. We are fighting now. We are fighting through social media, through sharing the posts and everything. So many ways of fighting. Fight till the last time. This is what Allah is telling. The verse 195 says about spending in the way of God. Spend in the cause of God. And do not let your own hands throw you into destruction by withholding, being conjus, not giving for the cause of God. Don't because being conjus or withholding your money to yourself and not giving for the cause of God will put you into destruction. in this life and hereafter as well. And do good, for good certainly, God certainly loves the good doers. So Allah is promoting, telling us to spend in the cause of God, in the places of worship, for the needy, for the poor, because it's very clear that Allah has made it very clear that whatever I have provided for you, I have provided for you, and you have to be good, and you have to spend it on the people who are needy, who are poor, on in the cause of God wherever possible, wholeheartedly. And if you refrain from that, you're gonna put yourself into destruction, because we'll also be asked about the money we earned and the where and all we spent it on the day of judgment. Thank you.